Admiral's log. The long and grueling conflict with the British has finally come to an end. After relentless battles and a war that tested every facet of our Navy's strength, the British have conceded defeat, agreeing to pay a substantial sum in reparations. This victory, hard won and dearly paid for, has secured not only financial compensation but also a brief, yet much needed respite from the relentless pressures of war. Our coffers, replenished by the British gold, will now serve to rebuild and reinforce our naval capabilities, ensuring that Spain remains a dominant force on the global stage. This moment of peace, however fleeting, is a chance to regroup and recover. The sailors who have faced the horror of battles with unwavering courage can now find solace in the quiet that follows victory. But this respite is not merely time for rest. It's also a time for reflection and preparation. The world has seen a rise of Spain's naval power, and our enemies, though temporarily subdued, will not remain idle for long. As we bask in the glow of triumph, we must also look ahead, readying ourselves for the challenges that undoubtedly lie on the horizon. This victory has given us a moment to breathe, and with it, the resolve to ensure that when the next storm comes, we will be more than prepared. Hey guys, still here, welcome to episode 16. We're at peace. It's March 1920, and I'm in the process of upgrading my fleet. And one thing is quite notably missing: heavy cruisers. The heavy cruiser that I used to have, and it's the last one of its kind, was the Hooded Horse. This cruiser dated back to the 1900s. It was one of those very, very early designs. Time for a new one. Because while it might be peace right now, I don't think that will last. So, let's have a new heavy cruiser out, one that's capable of supporting the battleships. The battleships haven't really changed much. I did upgrade them to make sure that they're the 1920s standards. They got 6 12-inch guns. That's about it. They're nothing special. What I have as a pretty decent advantage right now is the ability to, one, build better hulls, such as the Armored Cruiser 5, but also access to the large cruiser. So I could just decide to forego cruisers like this, if it's not prohibitively expensive. Yeah, it's a difference of 6 million. Alternatively, we have the option to go for battle cruisers, but those, very expensive. So let's not run with battle cruisers just yet. Heavy cruiser wise, they don't need to be enormous, but I want to have them around the 10,000 ton mark, so that I can start easily adding them up in case, well, when I'm going to go and invade something else. I'm looking for a pretty good hull form, pretty good stability. This one does not have a good hull form nor a good stability, so I'm going to bypass the large armored cruiser. This is 70 and 55. I'm going to go with this one because it has good hull form, good stability, and good resistance. Now, that's a good starting point. It also has these weird things on the sides. I'm not even sure what those are. I don't know what I am to do with them. Now, the cruisers don't have to be very quick. I think the battleships are now doing, what, 24 knots. So if these do 25, they can keep up without making them prohibitively expensive. The Shadow Rises, if you were to build them now, would cost you 147 million. I rather doubt that's actually what they'll be. Because I can't build them anymore. So I'd essentially have to build a new type of ship. Is that going to actually fit? Huh. Not bad. I really hope I can fit funnels, though. Fine. Oh, great. There goes the displacement. 12,000 tons, please. And then I'll add another funnel. And we're going to definitely push these to forced, and we'll still have problems with our speed. This hull is rated for 23 knots tops. It's not really doing it any favors, though, is it? If you want to go with these hull... Yeah, right. I could put them behind the secondary tower if I really wanted to, but it just looks really, really weird. If I put them, however, in a line here, I'm not sure it's really going to do much. These weigh, let's say 500 tons. These weigh 300 tons, but the funnel capacity is doubled. This puts me at a bit of a problematic spot, because I can use these But don't I lose, like, the majority of the space here? Or do I just go with another... Yeah, I guess this could work. It's a weird condensed design, but it might just work. Let's make sure that these guys do have some torpedo protection. They are at risk of taking a torpedo every now and then. As much as I can avoid it, I will. But I can't exactly guarantee their safety. Gun-wise, we're just looking at Mark 3 8-inchers. And interestingly, I think that's enough. The simple reason here is the AI uses really shit ships. They have really poor armor. So if I can just push around a couple of 8-inchers with semi-ballistic shells, I can probably punch through the side of most ships. Well, not the sides strictly, but the bow and stern, yes. However, the ship is a little overweight now. Maybe the aux engine. Let's reduce the speed a bit, because I don't have to do all sorts of expeditions with this ship. I can try making it sleeker, I guess. That does come at the expense of being able to maneuver fairly swiftly. Okay, it did not like that, funnel-wise. I'll go to -5. Put the funnel here. There you go. So we get about 500 tons, and that's a good thing, because right now this thing is very expensive for what it does. Very, very, very expensive. I need to have some sort of secondary armament. What are these things? You can't put a gun on them. They just contain lifeboats. They're not crew quarters, that's for sure. What are they? How do I get rid of them? I can put... Yes, I can put 2 inchers on there. Okay, can I also put 3 inchers on there? Yes. Good. So with those 3 inchers, I should be able to at least lay some suppressive fire down on a destroyer. With the 8 inchers, let's say 10% longer barrels, give them a bit more punch. And this comes out to about 7,500 meters, 3.5 inches of armor pen. That's enough. As weird as that sounds. I can upgrade them to 8.9s. And that gives me a little more punch and a little bit more range, while mostly retaining the benefits from having a Mark III gun. The problem is, I don't really have good armor. And that is something that I'm quite concerned with. Because not having good armor means that, at the moment, it's not a very good ship. It can't exactly tank the type of shells that I want it to tank. Let's go minimum range. Oof, we're still 500 over. Let's go 21 knots. Yikes. Improve the steering gear. This is not a good cruiser. It's way too expensive for what it does. What if I just scrap this whole thing and go back to that? No, thank you. Fine. And the Lars cruiser? I know it's not a great choice. Although, yeah, top speed of 21 knots. Whatever. Let's see what we get if I say I want to have, like, a few. Although I rather doubt I can actually afford those. But here's to trying. Let's see, we got double medium funnels. For 250 tons you get 14. Or for 157 you get about half. No, at the moment I'm too lazy to do the math, so I'm not going to do that. Engine efficiency wise, we can definitely improve that measure, so... Induced, yeah, that should do it for now. Okay, better auxiliary engine, better shaft, better steering. This thing is probably going to maintain her speed. So let's make sure that she does. Get some range, get better armor. It's still not much. Coincidence range finding. Anti-torp. Anti-flood, all of it. Now, it's already exceeding the price of the cruiser design, but it is a bit of an investment in the future. I believe that this ship can be a valuable asset, because I can fairly quickly reconfigure this hull to do what I need it to do. So if I'm facing a nation that has a lot of destroyers, you just slap on a whole bunch of smaller casemates. If you got ships that need a bit more convincing, you throw on a couple of, I don't know, 12-inch guns. and you'll be able to punch those. On top of that, the ship has room for tons of secondaries, so that is something that I don't really have to worry about. Shells, semi-ballistics, TNTs, tube powder. Standard ratio there, and standard ratio with secondaries. So now I have 6,000 tons with an armored ship, a fairly well armored ship I should say, to play around with. Unfortunately, the guns I have are Mark II. I'm not really expecting a better Mark II anytime soon. So this is gonna, for now, take up the role of a heavy cruiser. Yeah, that'll turn. Can I install wings? I can. I like it. Ooh. What about wings with 9-inchers? And then you use that space on the bow for something a little heavier. Because this can engage a target on one side, this can engage a target on the other side. Let's make sure those are long barrels, so they can do that at greater ranges and more safety to the ship itself. This is going to punch pretty hard against whatever it manages to hit. And now we have a couple thousand tons for additional weaponry. Unfortunately, there's probably not a whole lot of things that you can put on there. Can you put a 5-inch down there? No. 4 inches best. It's a 4-inch Mark III. It's not a problem, because I think I'm unlocking the 4-inch Mark IV pretty soon. What is this useful space? Oh, sorry, useless space for. Is that supposed to... Look, you can't throw a funnel down there. You can't throw a weapon down there. What use are you? Is that the Admiral's quarters or something? It's not a great use of my ship. Alright, I'm going to use the 3-inch casemates, because these are Mark IV. And we're going to throw those all over the ship. And make sure that they get long barrels. So, as long as they can get, let's make them... Oh, that's the wrong gun. Never mind. Never mind, I can make these 3.9s. That should give them a decent range, like 5 and something. Here they are. Oh, 8, actually. Not bad. Not bad. Reload, about 6 seconds. I am much more in the ballpark of I'm going to throw some shells at you and eliminate you, rather than I'm going to throw a lot of shells at you and hope that I maybe possibly kind of hit something. So with that reasoning in mind, I would much rather have longer barrels on my guns, which also coincidentally gives them more punch, than having a ton of guns that you just have to hope will actually hit. There, that 9-incher was not going to work very well. Okay, now we have quite a bit of, well, quite a bit of tonnage left. If I had to go 25 knots, we're probably going to blow through the budget pretty quick. There we go. That's the engine efficiency right out the window, and the price going up. Is it possible to throw down another funnel? I can even get a rangefinder here. Yeah, don't pretend that you'll sit... Huh. I thought they were going to threaten me with a good time and then disappoint, but there it sits. There it sits. Good. That's decent funnel capacity for a ship that does 28 knots. With that, I might actually have a very flexible warship. I can hunt down, well, fairly sizable targets. I can hit them really badly. I can do damage against cruisers. I can do damage against destroyers. If this thing would also come with multiple underwater torpedo launchers, that'd be fantastic, but you cannot have everything. As for range, it would be nice, but at the moment it's not feasible. I do believe that this tends to generate some slightly better missions, but it's not something that I really have noticed that much of. The game keeps telling you, hey, it's going to improve your chances of a good fight. I don't know. It might. I've never actually really been paying that much attention to it, nor seen any irrefutable evidence that it works. Which is something you can say for quite a lot of things in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Now, 15 inches of conning tower armor should do the trick, and suicide chance is 5.5. So we should not blow each other, or sorry, ourselves up. This is going to be the, let's say, the new hooded horse. And I'm kind of hoping that this thing is also going to get exported. Because it's 160 million. The Sentinels are 199 million, this is the newest Sentinel version. But then again, they're also much, much larger. This thing is 24,000 tons. This thing is 25,000 tons. And then we also have the Derflinger at 31,000 tons. So we are shipping around some fairly big ships. What I have found is, well, how should I put this? I got the designs, sort of, from the Germans for the Derflinger. Because I got that ship off their hands. I turned it into this weird construction. After the Germans had an okay ship, but it was, at least for my tastes, too lightly armored. What I can do is copy this design. And it's a sort of, I don't know, export Derflinger class. Because I cannot build them for myself, but I suspect that I can build them for other nations, such as my allies. So I'm going to call this EXP Derflinger as export, and maybe they'll actually take me up on it. I don't know. Let's see. A few months later, it is indeed war. It's the Germans, yet again. They're asking for trouble, and they will have it. So let's see how this changes the playboard. The Germans are at war with myself, and they're thinking about going to war with China. It's very close. As for myself, I don't believe I have anybody else to worry about at the moment. I mean, yeah, Russia at minus 66, but there's not anything Russian left. Their economy is just getting destroyed by constantly being at war with everybody. So they don't worry. Then we get Japan. I don't know. Japan might influence some parts of Asia at the moment, but it's not that concerning. My fleet is at the moment a little busy doing a little side quest over here in Portuguese Guinea, and it should be completing that in a month. After that, I have ambitious goals. Very ambitious goals. I want to eliminate a couple of German ships. They have plenty to eliminate. They have 4 battleships, 3 battle cruisers, and the rest is escorts. Lots of escorts. They even got some ancient torpedo boats around. I want to try and invade Eastern Germany. Yes. Here's why. It's really only defended, if you want to call it that, by Kiel, which is a port of 366,000 tons. It's no joke. It's a fairly serious port, but it's only one of them. So what I might be able to do is just park my fleet here, bombard the absolute shit out of it, and then walk into East Germany. It's extraordinarily ambitious. If it works, I cut Germany in half. I hope it works. Invading Western Poland is, let's say, a secondary plan, or potentially taking Prussia, because that also has a port, but these ports are actually bigger. So we'll have to go for Kiel. That's the goal. So this means I'm going to wait 1 turn for my battleships to complete. At least, let's say it's mostly the battleships that are doing the heavy lifting. After that, we will start pushing to Germany. There we go. Portuguese Guinea joins the Spanish Empire. We have a little bit of a battle going on here. This is the Colon, which is a Sentinel, but it's an older one, as owned by the Danish, of course, going up against a heavy cruiser, a light cruiser, and some DDs. DDs owned by Portugal. If only I could invade Portugal. Wouldn't that be nice? Just completing the whole Spanish Empire, at least that bit of the territory. Anyway, this battle cruiser might be at grave risk, because it doesn't have a whole lot of armor, but neither does the AI. So in this case, I think I should be able to get away with it. This is the Navia. This is one of my, I think, modernized, not modernized destroyers. Unfortunate. I have been spotted. Torp only at my will. 10.6 clicks. Excellent. Alright, the Colon is armed by, is crewed by a green level crew. So their statistics are not going to be spectacular, but should be sufficient. We've seen these ships perform way better than expected. Especially when it comes to the accuracy department, where they always surprise me in how accurate they actually are. They don't have elongated barrels, they just have Mark I 15-inch guns. Maybe the platform itself, like the ship, is so stable that it just gets extraordinarily accurate. There we go. For my next trick, I'm going to shoot armor piercing, which is semi-armor piercing shells. So, against an angled target, well, a bow-in target in this case, that might just work. It's looking like Germany sent their museum ships out to meet me. Which is fine, but on your head be it. Okay, that didn't work. Right, ricochet off the hull. Look at that, 30% chance to hit. We are at 9-kilometer range. And that means the rest of the party has arrived. German torpedo launchers, 2 sets of 3. With a range of 9.4, so we are in range. Yep, that's a good hit. Partial pen, but it did a lot of damage. Now, the colonne does need to turn out, because I'm not very happy about the way that this ship is approaching. It is an interesting fight, once you actually look at it. This is a battle cruiser that was designed by the Americans, built by the Spanish, and is now operated by the Danish. Shall we maintain our focus on this target and just put the secondaries on that, please? And much like these guys, I think they're German-built ships which are operated by Portugal. I think for them it doesn't get any more complicated than that, which is fine. You don't have to have complicated. But, you know, all these alliances are making life quite interesting. Smoke up. Fall back a little bit. Let the battlecruiser work away against the heavy. That's not working. That thing is coming in. Yeah, I'm going to start turning away. He's probably dropping torps now. It's too good of a turn for him. Yep, he dropped torps. What are you? You're another DD. Okay, so I suspect that you might not have launched your torpedoes yet. Okay, switch all the guns over. Oh, they have their second set that they just put in the water now. Interesting. Come on, a couple good shots and that thing is toast. Yeah, that should do it in. No speed is death. At least when it comes to destroyers. So what about you there, friend? You haven't launched anything yet. Okay. Excellent. Accuracy against a very maneuverable DD is definitely far less. Let's see if we can take this guy out. Turn over to starboard. I can try risking a shot against the V-49 with the mains, because the ship is mostly just straight up following me. Ah, there you go. And now you torpedoed me. Was that one set or two? I'm not sure. We found some torps. You can just leave. I don't need you anymore. Because these sentinels, they got this. Are you smoking up your cruiser? What's these advanced tactics? Did you reload your torpedo tubes and you're coming for round 2? Because that's possible. It's acceptable, I guess. It's still funny how with Dreadnoughts you have, like... you have a burst, a salvo, and you see, let's say, 7 out of 8 shells go wee off into the distance, and 1 straight onto the target, because the AI, or the calculation says, no, 1 has to hit. In this case, it didn't go through. Okay, maintain pressure on the Victoria Louise. I want her gone. This DD is getting really annoying, though. Oh, it paid for it. Because it managed to get hit with a shell that wasn't designed for her. Now, This is the problem with these unarmored battle cruisers. They take flooding from absolutely anything. Even a what? A 5-inch gun, yeah. That DD's taking damage, but not flooding yet. I'm definitely taking flooding. There you go, there's the flooding. Wreck that ship. It's not taking the damage that I expected it. Oh, it has a 4-belt. It has armor. Which, at this range, I can just about overpen, I think. Let's use our speed to get away from these boys. Keep out of torpedo range, ideally. Nothing. Secondaries in the 46. We're gonna have to turn in order to bring our 8-inch gun to bear, because that might be a pretty decent bet in order to do damage. There you go. Once these things start flying through, that's most of the ships suddenly heavily flooded. That's what I was looking for. That's why I was banking on armor-piercing shells to go through. And now it's a slow target. Yeah, and angled. This thing might turn away and might try to torpedo me again. If they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it right about now. Come on. You're gonna do it? No, you're gonna flood. But you just ran out of your torpedo tubes. Your ammo, that is. So I'm assuming you have done some evil things. You've put your torpedo launchers to work. Torpedoes, 21-inch Mark II. There she goes. Okay. Yep, there they are. I do not want to be where they are. That's good. Alright. So this DD is probably going to do the same thing. And, oh, that was my torpedo launcher getting destroyed. Yep, there we go. I intend to continue on my already selected turn. I know I'm turning probably a bit faster than my turrets, but I do need the destruction of that destroyer and the dodging of their torpedoes first, before I risk any further damage to the colonne. Ow. Destroyed the funnel on that ship. End the battle. Yeah, wouldn't you like that? No, son. This thing is going down. Unfortunately, the new battle cruisers that I just designed are, of course, not quite going to be ready for the start of the war. Maybe they'll join a little later. That's what I'm hoping for. A little later, we're going to have those battle cruisers join the fight, because they're nice gun platforms, especially against that high number of destroyers that they have. Come on. I think that DD is something we'll never see again. So we'll take down the heavy cruiser, and we should be done. Well, if we take down the heavy cruiser. They do have torps, the 3.7. Main gun out to 8.5. So they're kind of just sitting there waiting to die. There's not much else they can do. They can't run, they can't shoot. They can't really damage control, not against the amount of damage that they keep putting onto the ship. So, these guys are probably going to be dead within the next 10 minutes. If not sooner. 33% buoyancy. I think they might... I think they might not even be able to turn anymore. 2 damaged engines. This thing is doing what? 4 knots? 6 knots? Damn. Boink. Okay, that's definitely very angled. Let's turn in a bit. Slow down a bit. Yes. Now, I do think that Germany is a very interesting target. Not so much the landmass itself, but the nation to fight against, because they do have some colonies in Africa. And, of course, I would love to take those, but I don't think I will. At least, not quickly. They might be the low-hanging fruit, but the Germans can definitely hit me in quite a lot of locations using the weakness of the Spanish convoys. And if they have pretty decent destroyers, I might also be in trouble, because I do have some lights. But last time we threw a light cruiser into the fight, it didn't do very well. it died to the British ships. Are you running out of ammo? Huh. No matter. There she goes. Dead. Alright, now I'll end the battle. Okay, so that's the first little bit of victory points for me. Excellent. So now let's see if we can start pushing the guys from Africa to Germany, linking up with the rest of the fleet as we pass Spain. Seeing as we have just a little bit of time left in this episode, I want to have a go with the Resolution. Yes, it's the light cruiser. Again, this time around I'm hoping she does a little better than she did previous. Because this time around she's once again facing DDs. Her, well, ideal targets on paper. Whether or not that remains true remains to be seen. Last time around she was crewed by cadets. Didn't have a good time. She got nailed by a couple of destroyers. And I'm kind of, well, writing that off to the fact that they died due to being cadets. Like, the ship wasn't really in command of good crew. Or was really being commanded by a good crew. I'm hoping that right now I can get a little bit of damage off with the 7-inchers and then with the 1.5s, because that's what the 1.5s are for. Just hit the enemy as much as you can. And this is kind of the opposite of what I was talking about before, which is just throwing as much at the enemy as possible and hoping that you'll actually do some damage. It does seem like we are doing some damage. It is in fact the 2-incher, so the Resolution is doing some damage. I'm also expecting the Germans to start throwing torps back at me right about now. So let's make sure that we're not going to be there. This DD is cruising, cruising, cruising. Oh! Dodging. And Navia just took a bit of damage. Let's smoke up the whole division. Ooh, but you took a torp. Was it mine? You got hit by... yeah, you got hit by one of yours. Oh well. That happens. 16 million up for grabs there. And seeing as my light cruiser is 52 million, I really expect results. At this point, I have the Mark IV. I might be able to start upgrading these guns to be like 2-inch Mark IV. Giving them potentially slightly more firepower. And hopefully with that, the ability to actually deal very quick damage against the enemy, because I'm not seeing it. The 7-inchers are not really doing it. The 2-inchers are not really doing it. Oh, here we go again. That's definitely targeted at the Navia. I refuse to lose 2 destroyers here. So you're going to turn... and you're not even at risk of getting hit, because all your engines are out. Okay, that's good progress. Ah, the 2s are not doing anything. Oh, 10,000 damage? At this rate, Navia is going to go down. And this is the one that got hit by a... no. This is the one that got hit by a torp. Oh boy. I am taking a lot of damage. Oh, but I'm dishing it out just as well. That was a 5-inch hit for 24k. Almost 25k. Punch it. How much armor these guys have? Oh crap, I lost one. Wow, that's a very, very significant amount of armor for a DD. So, they put tissue paper on their battleships. And they put all the armor on the DDs. Like, this thing is maxed out, armor-wise. What gives, Germany? Like, what's your plan here? Your DD was 6 million. My DD was definitely not 6 million. Mine's more expensive. Yeah, these things need refitting, because look at those guns. The 2-inchers are just not moving. They're shooting alright. But everything's getting blocked. Oh, the torp didn't. Whose torp was that? Mine. Way to go. I know I have torps on this ship. I'm just not really intent on using them yet, because I should be able to take this DD down the usual way. when it comes to the other ones. Or let's switch targets to this one, because we might just pepper the V-13 that happens to be in front of it. Ah, she's sunk. All by her own accord. Excellent. These are torpedo hazards, but they're reloading. Let's just auto-select for you. I wonder what you're gonna pick. You're gonna pick high explosive ammo. Interesting. Is that worth it? Look at that damage. Like 256 or 5.5k. Maybe I should have just had this thing pack 5-inch guns. Just a lot of them. Basically turning into a big destroyer. The problem with that little plan is that you never quite know what you're gonna face. The one time you may face destroyers, the next time you might face a battleship, and boy are you gonna look stupid when you're trying to kill a battleship with a bunch of 5-inchers. It's been done, to be sure, but it's just rare. Oh, really? Come on. Push this thing down. I don't want to see it anymore. Come on. Dodge the torps. Dodge. Dodge. Yes. That's the stuff I was looking for. The torps are out. You can't really dodge that, can you? Oh, no, you can dodge everything. Oh, my bad. You can just dodge everything. Oh, you sunk alright. Still nothing from the 2-inchers. It's just looking pathetic at this point. These stupid rapid fires just don't do the trick. So, in order to compensate for the armor that these guys have, I guess I'm just gonna have to get real close. Push in, as close as you can get. Should also boost the accuracy of these guns. And maybe, if it doesn't accidentally ram me, which it will, we might be able to get some work done here. Armor piercing right now. Ricochet, ricochet, ram. Come on. I know the target has suddenly appeared on the other side of the ship, but don't worry about that. I think we moved the needle by a whole 3 points. Oh, we're out of... we're out of high explosive. Okay, fine. Steady the ship out. This thing still has 3 torpedoes almost ready to go. Blocked, 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 blocked. How many times have you been hit? 132 times. 98 blocked and 19 ricochets. This is just embarrassing. That's better. Much better. I think we'll come out of this battle with a slight victory points. Like a slight score. Because we have to repair the Resolution, and 2 of my destroyers have been destroyed. 4 of theirs, but they weren't all, what, $12 to $15 million DDs. So, it's not like they'll really yield a whole lot. As well as, of course, Germany can replace their ships a heck of a lot easier than I can mine. Alright, let's have a look. How many victory points is that? 36 versus 23. So yeah, we came out with a, I don't know, 1300 something. Not a whole lot. Anyway, not a whole lot. Right now, my main battle fleet is almost in position. It's the 5 battleships plus the battlecruiser Gubben, which is my favorite, and the rest of the fleet. We're going to go to Kiel, and we're going to see if we can get the Germans to see the foolishness of their action just by taking Eastern Germany off of them. Extremely ambitious. If it works, it's a lot of points. And it could be the end of the war right there and then. Let's see how that goes in the next episode. Thank you for watching this one. I'll see you soon for more.